guys, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. Today I have my BEA and BookCon graphic novel book haul for you. So stay tuned. So as you may have seen from my thumbnail, I got a ridiculous amount of comic books and graphic novels while I was at BEA and BookCon. And I had to make a video just about those because there were so many. So to start off, I have a couple of samplers, I think. I don't think they're the actual full graphic novels. Could be wrong. But I ended up with two of the Debbie and Pearl Digital Detective, The Memory Thief. And it says it's a advanced reader copy chapbook. So I'm not entirely sure if it's just a sampler or what, but it looks so cute. So we have that one, and then I ended up with another one that, again, I don't know if it's a sampler or the actual arc of the graphic novel, but I have Witchy, and again, it's very cute. I really like that style. Okay, now let me show you my comic books before I get into all of the full graphic novels. So some things I ended up with multiple copies of. I don't know how. I think some of them came in tote bags and stuff. But I ended up with 3 of the Worm World Saga. Looks like that. And again, oh, it's so stinking cute. But yeah, I ended up with 3 of those. I also ended up with 3 of A Sheet Story by Brenna Thumbler. And I'm pretty sure this is something that's actually included in the graphic novel, which I purchased. I think it was like one. I only purchased 3 books while at BEA or BookCon, and Sheets was one of them. Next I have a comic of Angel. And if y'all don't know who Angel is, he's a vampire with a soul. Next we have A Little Bird. This one is chapter 1. Looks a little gruesome. Maybe a lot gruesome. Then we have volumes 1 through 5 of Quincredible. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it looks like we have a black superhero. Then we have Jupiter's Circle and Jupiter's Legacy, which they also look to be superhero comics. We have The Ables, The Hero's Journey. This is an exclusive Book Expo America preview. And it looks like this is teenage superheroes. Okay, next we have A Prodigy. And flipping through this, it kind of gives me like a Black Batman kind of vibe. Next we have Sharky the Bounty Hunter. Seems like a very dark kind of comic. Okay, next up is May by Jean Ha. And okay, I just read what it says here on the back and I have to read it to you. May's older sister Abby ran away from home 8 years ago, long enough that May has gotten on with her life and come to terms with being her aging father's only family. So when Abby reappears one night wearing an outlandish outfit complete with golden axes at each hip and explaining that she's been living on another world where she was queen of a species of talking cats, May is sure her sister's lost her mind. That is, until strange and menacing creatures start showing up in May's hometown and her father suddenly disappears. Now May must follow a sister she barely knows into a world she never could have imagined to save her only family and maybe discover something about herself in the process. It sounds so stinking cute. Okay, next is Isola Prologue. It literally is very thin. It's just the prologue. Okay, next is Ascender. And this is done to look a lot like sketches. Sorry, I'm not really giving a whole lot of information about these comics, but I don't really have a whole lot of information without reading them. I think I'll be able to tell you more about each of the graphic novels though. Okay, so the first graphic novel that I have here is Mooncakes. And I was just noticing that only the first chapter, I guess, is done in full color. The rest is like this. There is occasionally some color throughout, but not a whole lot. It's not done in like full color. I don't know if this is because it's just an arc or if this is how, something to do with the story. This says a story of love and demons, family, and witchcraft. Nova Huang knows more about magic than your average teen witch. She works at her grandmother's bookshop where she helps them loan out spell books and investigate any supernatural occurrences in their New England town. One fateful night, she follows reports of a white wolf into the woods, and she comes across the unexpected, her childhood crush, Tam Lang, a werewolf battling a horse demon in the forest. Pursued by dark forces eager to claim the magic of wolves and out of options, Tam turns to Nova for help. Their latent feelings are rekindled against the backdrop of witchcraft, untested magic, occult rituals, and family ties both new and old in this enchanting tale of self-discovery. And it is signed by both of the authors, and they wrote for Melanie, and they drew a little cat. They asked if I wanted a cat, a pigeon, or something else, and I was like, a cat. Always a cat. Next up is DC Superhero Girls at Metropolis High, written by Amy Wolfram and illustrated by Yancy Labette. And I mean, superhero high school girls, based on the new animated series. It says, when Batgirl, Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Green Lantern, Bumblebee, and Zatanna are continually late to class because of their crime fighting, they are required to participate in an after-school club for a whole week, or else they'll be suspended. But finding a club is not as easy as it sounds, and when the girls keep getting kicked out of the clubs they like, they must think outside the box and go out of their comfort zones to avoid suspension. Just when they thought secret identities and balancing school with superhero heroics had enough challenges. Cute. Next is a quick and easy guide to queer and trans identities. And it is very, very pink. In this quick and easy guide to queer and trans identities, cartoonists Maddie G and J.R. Zuckerberg guide you through the basics of the LGBT+ world, covering essential topics like sexuality, gender identity, coming out, and navigating relationships. This guide explains the spectrum of human experience through informative comics, interviews, worksheets, and imaginative examples. A great starting point for anyone curious about queer and trans life, and helpful for those already on their own journeys. So I thought this was cool. Next we have Little Witches, Magic in Concord, and this is like a witchy retelling of Little Women. Then we have Pandora's Legacy by Carol Leopard and Kelly and Nicole Matthews. This says, what starts out as a typical family vacation to their grandparents' house goes sideways when Charlie, Janet, and Trevor accidentally break an old jar that was hidden away deep in the woods. Suddenly running for their lives, these siblings have to figure out a way to not only capture all the monsters that have escaped the jar, but also how to save the rest of their family before it's too late. With the help from the unlikeliest of places, Charlie, Janet, and Trevor will learn what it means to work together and learn the truth about their family's history. Between talking cats, trying not to drop their phone, and making new friends, this is one vacation that this family will never forget. Sounds super cute. Next we have Denisov Lim's The Seventh Voyage. And this is a graphic novel by John J. Muth. And let's see. John Tichy is caught in a time loop. Alone in his broken spaceship with no one there to help, Tichy could remain trapped in space indefinitely. But soon something strange begins to happen. Tichy's past and future selves appear, and rather than helping one another, they bicker and fight as they crowd into the tiny vessel. Will Tichy stop fighting with himself long enough to save his own life? This sharply comical story by world-renowned science fiction writer Stanislaw Lem has been adapted into a brilliant graphic novel by Caldecott Honor and Eisner Award-winning artist John J. Muth. It looks like it was done in watercolors, which is pretty cool. Next we have The Avant-Garde's Volume 1, female basketball graphic novel. Okay, next we have Lumberjane's The Infernal Compass. And I have heard a lot about Lumberjanes and I haven't checked them out yet. I don't know if this is actually the first one or if this is just the newest one coming out. But it looks like this. Again, it's only got a little bit of color throughout. Like mostly just green from what I'm seeing. This says, when the Janes start to become separated during an orienteering outing, thanks to a mysterious compass, Molly becomes more and more insecure about the effect of her relationship with Mal on the other girls. Meanwhile, a lonely explorer is trying to steal the compass with the help of her weirdly polite automaton butlers. I don't think this is the first one, from the sounds of it. Next we have R.L. Stine, Just Beyond, and this is The Scared School. And who doesn't love a good R.L. Stine? I think it's cool that they've got some graphic novels now. Next up we have Sunny Rolls the Dice by Jennifer L. Holm and Matthew Holm. This says, too cool for school or the least groovy girl in the grade. Sunny's trying to make it through middle school and it's making her life very confusing. All her best friend Deb wants to talk about is fashion, boys, makeup, boys, and being cool. Sunny's not against any of these things, but she also doesn't understand why suddenly everything revolves around them. She's much more comfortable when she's in her basement playing Dungeons and Dragons with a bunch of new friends. Because when you're sword fighting and spider slaying, it's hard to worry about whether you look cool or not, especially when it's your turn to roll the dice. Trying hard to be cool can make you feel really uncool, and it's much more fun to just have fun. Sunny's going to find her groove, and her own kind of groovy, with plenty of laughs along the way. Next up we have Genderqueer, a memoir by Maya Kolbabe. In Genderqueer, Maya Kolbabe has crafted an intensely cathartic autobiography about their path to identifying as non-binary and asexual, and coming out to their family and society by addressing questions about gender identity and what it means and how to think about it. The story also doubles as a much-needed, useful, and touching guide. Oh, it looks like there's two stickers inside. They're the same, but they look like that. Cool. Okay, this next thing, I don't know if it actually classifies as a graphic novel or something else. But this is The Secret Spiral of Swamp Kid by Kirk Scroggs. And it looks like this. So I don't know, I guess it's considered a graphic novel? I don't know. Anyway, this says, warning, unless you have express permission from Russell Wainwright to access his notebook. Do not read any further. Seriously, we mean it. Okay, if you're still with us, here's what we can share. Russell is a middle schooler. He excessively drools. He has two best friends, Charlotte and Preston. He is not so great at sports, and he is pond scum, nicknamed Swamp Kid by his classmates. Russell has algae for hair, a green trunk for a right arm, and a carrot for a finger. Also, Russell's favorite meal is sunlight. Also, a frog lives in his arm. In this notebook, Russell details in both hilarious text and color illustrations, complete with ketchup stains, what it's like to be different, to discover his true talents, to avoid the intense stare of Mr. Phoenicia, his suspicious science teacher, who may also be a mad scientist, and to find humor in the everyday weird. This is The Secret Spiral of Swamp Kid by writer and illustrator Kirk Scroggs, and you'll never look at middle school the same way again. And I thought it sounded really, really cute. I thought Santa would enjoy it. Okay, next up is the first book that I actually purchased while at BEA, and that is Sheets by Brenna Thumbler. And I just saw it looked so incredibly cute. It says, Marjorie and Wendell are both a bit different. Marjorie is responsible for running her family's laundromat. She's constantly dealing with her persnickety customers, snippy classmates, and lots of laundry. And Wendell is a ghost. He died much too young and now must roam the human world in a sheet. When Wendell bumbles into Marjorie's laundromat, his attempts at friendship begin to harm the family business. Sheets is a powerful story of forgiveness, second chances, and unlikely friendships. And it looks so stinking cute. Oh gosh, all the ghosts. The other two books that I purchased were also graphic novels. I got book 1 and book 5 of the Babysitter Club graphic novel series. I do want to get the rest of them, but I wanted to be able to get at least one from each new author to assign these. So I brought this book from home. This is Christie's Great Idea by Ann M. Martin. It is the original, and she signed it for me, which was awesome. And she signed my phone case, which was also awesome. But Raina Telgemeier did the first 4 of the graphic novels, and Gail Galligan did the next 4, I think it was. Anyway, Ann M. Martin signed both of these as well as the authors for them. Well, the cartoonists, I guess. So I'm excited to get to read these in a new way, but I'll have to collect the other ones first. Okay, next up is Midas by Ryan North, Shelley Paroline, and Braden Lamb. And I guess this is about a group of astronauts or something that come across a planet that is completely covered in gold, and they have to face the most dangerous weapon ever, which is a dead guy's body. It's King Midas, whose touch turns everything to gold, apparently, even though he's dead. Next we have Hotel Dare by Terry Bloss and Claudia Aguirre. This says, open the door, adventure awaits. Olive and her adopted siblings, Darwin and Charlotte, are spending the summer with their estranged grandma at her creepy hotel, and it's all work and no play. They're stuck inside doing boring chores, but they soon stumble upon an incredible secret. Behind each door in the hotel lies a portal to a different, strange, and mysterious place. The simple turn of a knob transports them to a distant magical world filled with space pirates. Behind the next door are bearded wizards. Down the hall is a doorway to a cotton-candied kingdom. But once the doors are open, worlds start colliding, and only one family can save them before they tear themselves apart. This sounds so cute. This was actually one that was just put into a tote bag. I was given a tote bag, the I Believe in Comics tote bag, and it was just packed full of all kinds of stuff. This is another one that was in there. Hex Vet, Witches in Training by Sam Davies. Okay, how stinking cute is that? Have you ever wondered where witches' cats go when they pull a claw? Or what you will do with a pygmy phoenix with a case of bird flu? Nan and Clarion have you covered. They're the best veterinarian witches of all time. At least they're trying to be. But when an angry rabbit with strange eyes stumbles into their lives, Nan and Clarion have to put down their enchanted potions and face the biggest test of their magical and medical careers. And possibly lose some dignity in the process. Oh, I had another one of those samplers of Witchy. Next we have The Tea Dragon Festival by Katie O'Neill. And I actually have The Tea Dragon Society, which is only like 70 pages. And this is the sequel to it. And it's like at least double. And it's like 133 pages. So it's almost double what The Tea Dragon Society was. But this looks so stinking cute. And it says, revisit the enchanting world of tea dragons with an all-new companion story to the two-time Eisner Award-winning graphic novel, The Tea Dragon Society. Rin has grown up with the tea dragons that inhabit their village, but stumbling across a real dragon turns out to be a different matter entirely. Adhan is a young dragon who is appointed to protect the village, but fell asleep in the forest 80 years ago. With the aid of Rin's adventuring uncle Eric and his partner High School, they investigate the mystery of his enchanted sleep, but Rin's real challenge is to help Adhan come to terms with the feeling that he cannot get back the time he has lost. Next up is No Ivy League by Hazel Newlevant. This says, a different kind of education. When 17-year-old Hazel takes a summer job clearing ivy from the forest in Portland, Oregon, the only plan is to earn some extra cash to put toward concert tickets. Homeschooled, affluent, and sheltered, Hazel soon finds that working side by side with at-risk teens leaves no room for comforting illusions of equality and understanding. This uncomfortable and compelling memoir is an important story of a teen's awakening to the racial insularity of the upper class, the power of white privilege, and the hidden history of segregation in Portland. And it's done, again, in black and white. I don't know if this is how the finished copy will be or not, but cool. Next we have Moonstruck by Grace Ellis and Shay Beagle. Volume 1, Magic to Brew. This says, monsters, romance, and magical hijinks, oh my. In the little college town of Blytheton, fantasy creatures live cozy, normal lives right alongside humans, and werewolf barista Julie strives to be the most normal of all. But all heck breaks loose when she and her new girlfriend Selena go on a disastrous first date that ends with a magician casting a horrible spell on their friend Chet. Now it's up to the team of mythical pals to stop the illicit illusionist before it's too late. And, oh my gosh. We got a Medusa here on the back. How cute is she? Okay, next we have Deadly Class, 1987, Reagan Youth. And this is by Rick Remender, Wes Craig, and Lee Lothridge. And this is now a sci-fi original series. Looks very dark. This is another one that was just put in a tote bag. And this says, survival is extra credit. It's 1987 and homeless teenager Marcus Lopez Arguello has no reason to keep living until one fateful evening when he is approached by a mysterious girl who invites him to join King's Dominion Attiller of the Deadly Arts, a brutal clandestine high school where the world's top crime families send the next generation of assassins to be trained. Murder is an art, killing is a craft, and the dagger in your back is no metaphor. Alright. Okay, next up is Black Mage by Daniel Barnes and DJ Kirkland. And I've heard this referred to as like a black Harry Potter. Looks super cute. Next up, I have not one, but two of The Destroyer by Victor Lavelis. And this sounded so cool. This is like a futuristic sci-fi retelling of Frankenstein. And I thought it sounded so cool. And I thought, not only was it something that I would enjoy, I thought it was something that Xander would also enjoy. And I was talking to the author because he signed them for me. And I told him that I was really interested in the book and I was looking forward to reading it. And I told him that my son would also be interested and he would probably steal my copy. So he signed one for me and then he signed another for Xander. And for me, he wrote, "For Melanie, destroy," and signed it there. And we also talked a little bit about Xander's schoolwork. So he wrote in here for Xander, "Don't swipe your mom's comic and do your homework." I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, next up is The Magician's Alice's Story by Lev Grossman with Lila Sturgis and Pius Bach. And they said this is like a companion to the Magician's Trilogy, but that you don't have to have read the Magician's Trilogy, because I told them I hadn't read that. This says, Alice Quinn is manifestly brilliant, and she's always known that magic is real. During her years at Brakebills College for Magical Pedagogy, she rises to the top of her class, falls in love with Quentin Coldwater, and witnesses a horrifically magical creature invade their dimension. It's not soon after graduation when Alice, Quentin, and their friends set their sights on the idyllic setting of Fillory, a place thought to only live in the pages of their favorite children's book. A land where magic flows like rivers, but in this magical realm, nothing is what it seems to be, and something darker lies behind the spellbinding facade. It is in the darkness where Alice will discover her true calling and her life, and those friends forever changed. Okay. Looks like that. And then last, but certainly not least, the one I am most excited for, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh, Volume 1, High School is Hell. And apparently they're kind of redoing the entire story from beginning to end. They said that there's going to be a lot of changes in this. Like, Angel doesn't come into the picture like he did in the original series. And there's going to be more Spike and Drusilla. And I am so excited. This says, in every generation, a Slayer is born, and your generation starts here. This is the Buffy Summers you know. Who wants what every average teenager wants? Friends at her new school, decent grades, and to escape her imposed destiny is the next in a long line of vampire slayers tasked with defeating the forces of evil. Only this time around, her world looks a lot more like the one outside your window. Eisner Award winner Jordi Belair from Redlands and Dan Mora from Go-Go Power Rangers, along with the series creator Joss Whedon, Marvel's The Avengers, bring Buffy into a new era with new challenges, new friends, and a few enemies you might already recognize. But the more things change, the more they stay the same as the gang faces brand new big bads, and the threat lurking beneath the perfectly manicured exterior of Sunnydale High confirms what every teenager has always known. High school truly is hell. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I cannot wait to read this. So happy. Okay, so that is my entire BEA and BookCon comic book and graphic novel haul for you. That was a lot. Are you excited about any of these books? Comment down below and let me know. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye!